Good morning, it's Jonathan Barratt with the on-the-go overnight market report for the 10th of November. The current time is 8:01. Quite an eventful evening last night. Obviously a few concerns in Europe, particularly in the States, but Europe actually closed on a positive note. But what we are finding is that the States has come off on a negative note. Something's occurred pretty much in the last 3/4 of an hour that has caused quite a reversal, particularly for commodities, in particular gold. Gold had a new record high last night at 14.22, hit that number and then came back aggressively. I think the low this morning has been about 13.82. Dollar, it seems to be a dollar move. US dollar does seem to be exceptionally well bid. We actually feel it's got something to do with the yen. The yen's had quite a rise, or the dollar yen's had quite a rise, but that basically from a low of 80.60, and it's currently just trading under that 82. So quite aggressive move from that front. But anyway, let's run through and just have a little bit of a look at what's occurred prior to all this. And obviously we'd like to go to Bloomberg. As you can see, the Dow down 75 points. The S&P's down 12.04 and the Nasdaq down 22. Now when I look at the Dow and I particularly look at the futures, I can see that we are a little bit lower at the moment. The futures are trading at 11.307. So a little bit under pressure there as well. But not a lot of news, and we still are trying to find out what has actually occurred. But as you can see, there's been quite a reversal here. That's the chart of the dollar yen, okay, and that's that big bounce we've had. But furthermore, I think it's important that we have a look at, as we always do, look at the dollar index first. Now that's the spike we saw. That's what's happened. Now let's have a look at the daily chart. And remember, we saw a bit of a break the other day where we'll try to work out why the dollar's been bid for 3 days or 4 days when commodities are still appearing that the dollar is weak. So that nexus to me has been quite interesting. But it does appear that given where we are at 78, that if it takes out 76, we're into a new era of dollar weakness. But if it holds through this area, then I think you can find that that dollar does look a little bit better bid for the time being. Still trying to work out what's happening, but let's run through a few of the other markets. As you can see here, if I quickly look at the Aussie has come off quite sharply, and you can tell this by the hourly that she came back from a high, 101.64, down to 100. Now that's a massive move for the Aussie, and it falls in line with some of the other currencies. You can see the euro is exactly the same. Bring that a little bit more perspective that it does look like it is under pressure. So perhaps there is a bit of a change starting to occur. Euro 137.68. The dollar yen's a big move there at 81.83. So let's see what involves. Looking at some of the commodities now, crude came back. Now this is interesting because we've never really known why crude is up around these high levels, given what's happened. As people are aware, that's the view we've got. And as you can see, it came back, took a huge shellacking under a lot of pressure. And perhaps even just reflects those fundamentals. But anyway, if it trades in these ranges here now, which it probably will, I think you happily sell on the lows. So let's see how it happens. Copper, another thing, 396 at the moment, 404 was the high. That's been quite a shift in sentiment there. But as you know, I think I like copper as a little bit better bid over time, so any correction there should be relatively shallow. Moving across onto some of the other commodities, we mentioned gold. Gold in itself, 13.89. We've had a quick look at that chart, and as you can see just quickly, there it is, that's a correction. So as you see, we've seen a quantum shift in ideas, but we're still trying to find out the main reason for that and that change in rhetoric which has caused these moves. Having a look at the equity markets, just look at the Dow. This is the Dow, it's 11.309 at the moment, and I think if anything there will give us a bit of an insight. That's come back quite big. These sorts of moves are very interesting. And I'll sort of add it because this is a breach of a pullback. This is hopefully a move to positive areas, but it's failed. So what it represents is a low-risk trading opportunity because you can quite happily sell here with a stop above that old high, and it sort of starts to make a little bit of sense. Let's just have a look at some of the others at the moment. Corn, for instance, 573.25. Soybeans, 13.17, and wheat, 7.20. All these markets appear to be coming a little bit under pressure. We'll just start with the corn, and then we'll also go on to our local market. Once again here, same sort of thing. We felt the corn market would trade higher through 600. It did, and it's failed. That indicates to me that if you were looking to do something, your stop would be above 600. And you can see that that's the like for most things at the moment because we've had a big move across the board. Cotton, as we know, continues to roar on, so but that's a different market. We'll see what happens like that when the market actually opens. Okay, just having a look at the local SPY, and let's have a look there. It's 47.54. Now that's how it closed on SciComm, but remember the 47.20 is something we've been on about for the last 2-3 weeks, and I think if the market breaks through this area here, this lower end here, which is not new, which is new to us, you know, it's at 17.40, back into that session, then you can feel that she will start to go lower from there. Our market really hasn't taken the stimulus on as it should have, as did the US. Anyway, but let's see what happens. Well, let's have a quick look at the economic calendar for Wednesday tonight. And we've got today investment lending, we've got consumer confidence in Japan, a lot of IP data in Europe, in the States trade balance import. Expect that to be a better number, I think. I expect it to come in there. You'd expect that given where the dollar was. But with the dollar moving out, let's see what happens. In terms of Japan, lots of other data out there, and that should give us a little bit of lead. Perhaps this whole move was dollar-related, but let's see what happens. Well, that's about it from me. I think it's going to be quite a busy day, certainly with commodities and people trying to work out what we're doing. But given that, let's just turn around and see what happens. If you need anything, feel free to give us a call or stay tuned to the tweets. I'll talk to you later, and have a great day.